Just ahead on American Black Journal, a call goes out for hundreds of volunteers to mentor students. Plus, independent filmmakers share their work with the community, and former Mayor Dave Bing talks about the American dream. Stay right there. American Black Journal starts now.
American Black Journal is funded by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, a partner with communities where children come first.
How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television. Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta Faucets, Craft-Made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
For Fun gave me a scholarship to help me attend Eastern Michigan University. I developed a passion for engineering at an early age. It started off with something as simple as fixing bikes. I didn't know anything about a bike shop or where I could go to get it fixed, so I just kind of had to play around with it myself. You can't really do everything on your own, so with even the smallest amount of help, just a little push, it can get you to where you need to be.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. It's hard to believe, but summer vacation is almost over, and school bells are going to be ringing again soon. The Cornerstone schools are gearing up for the start of classes by putting a call out for 2,500 mentors. These volunteers will interact with students in kindergarten through 8th grade. Joining me now to talk about the program are Pamela Ferris. She's the Chief Academic Officer of the Cornerstone Education Group. Matthew Mebin, he is a former Cornerstone student and a program participant. And Zion Williams is a 7th grader. Welcome to American Black Journal. Thank you. 2,500 volunteers is a lot of people, and they will descend on your schools this fall is the plan, right?
Yes, yes. Cornerstone Schools, of course, our partner morning is very important to us. For over 26 years, we've had partners who joined our school, who volunteered, who actually, you know, they make a difference in the life of every single student. We know for a fact that one great positive adult is that next success story for a student. And so it's so important for us to pair our students with great mentors and just the community of people who can wrap their arms around what we do every single day. And that's creating opportunities for students to live a fulfilling life.
You're asking for 2,500 now, but as you point out, you guys have been doing this for a long time. Talk about the people who show up to do that. I always think when you say mentoring to people, they automatically hear, oh my gosh, this is somebody who wants a lot of my time, I'm very busy, I don't have space for that. Who are the folks who find the time to come to Cornerstone, for instance, and sit with kids?
Yes, I mean, our partner morning is 4 times a year. It's 8 hours for an entire year. 4 times a year, 2 hours each time. So not very much time. But we have partners who come from organizations, companies, corporations. We have the everyday person who want to make a difference in the lives of children.
What difference does this make at Cornerstone? You have seen this both as a student and as now as a participant. Why does this matter?
I think it matters just what she said. It really impacts the students. So when I was there at Cornerstone, I had someone come in and I was able to see not only my parents, but someone else in the community doing things and also doing a profession that I may want to do later on in life. So it gave me another opportunity and access to new people and a new network that I didn't have before.
Right. As a mentor now, talk about the relationships you're building with the kids who are there.
So you're just talking to them, giving them the opportunity to just speak to you and talk about your experiences and talk about what you've done and where you've gone, and giving them the opportunity just to lean on you.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do, and that's what I wanted to do when I wanted to be a part of this and coming back to Cornerstone and working with them.
But were there specific mentors you can remember who made a particular impression on you when you were a student there?
Yeah, I have a memorable moment. When I was there, I was in about 5th grade, I think, and we were debating baseball, and they were talking about who was
Very important subject.
Very important subject. And it always stuck with me. He talked about Carl Yastrzemski, and that was his favorite baseball player.
Right?
But it talked about, we just had commonality when we could talk about sports, we could talk about anything. He was coming from his job to help out and giving me that memorable moment to continue on and say, hey, I might be able to do what he does later on in life.
Right. And the influence of that on your life now, talk about what that looks like. Are there specific things you feel like you do or think because of that experience?
Yeah, so I just lean on those experiences. So now I'm a director at a company called Tesla. So I lean on that leadership and lean on the experiences that I have, that I was able to talk to them about, like, you're coming from your work, how do you actually balance all of this stuff? So I use it today in my everyday life, and I actually cherish those times.
Yeah. So Zion, you are the star of the show today. Talk about what this program looks like from your standpoint. You're a 7th grader.
Yes.
At Cornerstone. What does the mentor program do for you?
So really, for me, I've never had one same partner, but every single partner has taught me something different. So this last partner that I've had in 6th grade, he taught me about business and how to start my own business, and the different criteria that you should want to meet if you want to be a strong businesswoman. And it was just like, when you have somebody talk to you that's other than your mom or your dad, you have somebody who can relate to you, and just not hearing it from your mom and dad every single day, but somebody different, somebody who you just see 4 times a year, and I think it's just wonderful for me.
Yeah. Talk about your experience at Cornerstone. You were telling me before how much you liked the classwork there.
Yes, actually, that's surprising though for most kids. But yes, I do like Cornerstone's classwork. I like math, science, and U.S. history. I can thank those teachers for that, because I used to not like history. But the teachers here made me like history, and because they just teach it in a fun way, like in a different way. It's just not like you're sitting there reading a book and then you have a test. But like, they give you pop quizzes, and actually they're really fun, because my U.S. history teacher, he would teach me, or he would give us hints on when the pop quiz was, so we could always study. And then for math, it was really good, because we had 2 different math teachers, and they each taught us something different. Like, they would teach us 2 different ways to figure out an expression.
Yeah.
And for science, it was always fun, because we'd use 2 different books, and then we always use the projector. So it was interactive games that we could play during science. I think that's what I really like about the work.
Yeah. You know, just listening to her talk about the experience in Cornerstone, I mean, it is different from lots of other schools, but talk about the way this mentorship sort of augments what you guys are trying to do in the classroom.
Yes, our experiences at Cornerstone, we want to provide students an opportunity to discover who they are and who they were born to be. And so through Cornerstone Schools, we're exposing students to so many different opportunities, career opportunities, partnership with major organizations to come in for internships and so forth, because we want students, when they leave Cornerstone Schools, to lead a fulfilling life, and we want them to impact the community that they will select to live in when they become an adult. And so for us, this is about purpose. It's purpose-driven. It's giving children an opportunity and exposing them to so many different ways of living and careers and colleges and so forth, that they, through this discovery process, through meeting great mentors like Matthew and others to pour into their lives to help them understand that their possibilities are unlimited.
Yeah, yeah, and of course grow up, Zion to grow up and be a mentor for future Cornerstone kids. All right, great program, and thanks very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, up next, an international film festival based in Detroit. But first, here's former Motown singer Martha Reeves in the Detroit Historical Society's Detroit 67 Oral History Project.
Here we are on the stage at the Fox Theater, and we had just sang Love is Like a Heat Wave and was getting ready to debut our hit, Jimmy Mack, finally released. And someone beckoned to me from the edge of the stage and said, "Hey, Martha, come here." And I thought I'd done something wrong, because at that time, Berry Gordy would critique his acts. He would stand or sit in the audience, and if you did something wrong or was misdirected, he would come to you and tell you right then what it was that he wanted you to change or do under his guise. So when I went to the edge of the stage, I was a little leery, and they said, "There's a riot that's broken out. There are tanks in the street, and people had to get home before the curfew. So you got to tell the audience in a peaceable way that it's got to go home and to get out of the theater." I haven't heard of the stampedes that can happen when someone just yells fire in a theater. So I somehow managed, by the grace of God, to get to that stage, a microphone in front of everyone, and say, "There's been there's a riot in the city. There's a curfew. There are tanks in the street. Take your family and go home and get into your houses for safety." And I managed to do that. Everybody calmly walked out of the theater.
The 11th annual Trinity International Film Festival comes to the Bowl Theater in downtown Detroit over the weekend of August 25th. The festival was founded as a showcase for culturally diverse movies by independent filmmakers. The event also allows artists to connect with the community. Here to tell us more are the festival's directors, Marshall and Lazar Favors, along with one of the featured filmmakers, Zachary Cunningham. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you for having us.
11th annual film festival. Talk about the idea behind this festival. How did it get started?
Well, as a filmmaker myself, I was constantly traveling to other film festivals in other cities, other countries, and I thought to myself, I would always have a great experience, and I would meet other filmmakers, was able to network and find out all these resources that they have for filmmakers, and I was almost like, well, where do we have that in Detroit? How does this exist? You know, like in Detroit. And you know what they say, if it doesn't exist, then create it.
Go out and make it yourself.
And this is our 11th year.
Yeah, yeah. What makes it special about this being in Detroit? I mean, we like to think of ourselves as very different from everybody else, and we get mad if you say we're not, but tell me how that looks.
I think because it allows us to be in the forefront. Like it's extremely a lot of talented filmmakers, producers, directors in the city, and we want them to be recognized. So I think our festival pushes them to the front, because we accept our Detroiters and we showcase them at a prime time. Right. You know, so they come out and enjoy those films, and it allows other Detroiters to recognize that we have a substantive community.
Yeah, talk about that film community. I'm not sure most people who live here know that there's such an active film community in Detroit.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of times, even when we travel to other places, you know, people would say, Detroit has a film community. And that was one of the things we wanted to do, was to reach out to other festivals that they have here, other filmmakers, other film groups that exist here, so that they could collaborate with one another, share resources, and also share in the experience as well too. But there are very talented actors, directors, writers, producers that are right here in the Metro Detroit area, and we love to highlight them and showcase that.
How has the festival changed over 11 years? I would imagine that first year was really different than what you'll do this year.
I'll start with the 10th.
Okay.
The 10th was an amazing atmosphere. We had we had a guy from Chicago here with a workshop. We had we were over at the Car Center, and we had two places at the same time. So it was exciting, you know, see the people come out watching these films, and we had an amazing amount of submissions. So it was wonderful.
And when we first started, it was another name, and so the international is what's new about it.
Right.
And so, and we've always shown international films, but about 5 years ago, people actually started traveling here from other countries, other places, to be at the festival. And what I love about it is that a lot of those filmmakers are here for the first time.
Right.
And
right.
so for us to be their first entree into
Their
what Detroit
introduction
is
to
like,
Detroit,
you know,
sure.
was really great as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Zachary, I want to show a clip from your film in a second, but set it up for us. Tell us what your film is about.
So my film is titled You Better Run. I wrote and directed it. It's starring Henri Franklin and Don Snipes. They're actually pretty well-known actors in the Detroit community. I'm not the greatest at giving synopsises, but I can give you a few of the influences from it. I'm a big Godfather fan, and I love the way that they dressed in The Godfather. And so when I was watching films, I always look at, most of our films are like from the urban community. And so I was like, man, why isn't a film where black people dress really, really nice throughout the entire film? So it started with that idea and that concept, and it blossomed into almost like a homage to like the blaxploitation era in terms of being a very stylistic film, dealing with leadership, treachery, all those typical filmmaking tropes.
I love that name, You Better Run, right?
Yes, sir.
That's
yeah,
great.
You Better Run. I should have named it You Better Run.
You Better Run, right?
Homage, yeah.
Right. All right, let's take a look at a clip of that film.
40 years entrenched in conflict, inherited from our forefathers. Success, casualties, treachery, some things. It's important for us to acknowledge our shortcomings.
Yeah, look at that. I love the splash screen at the beginning. Misfitted Academics.
Yes.
Film. Is that your film company?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
How did you come up with that name?
So I came up with that because I write poetry. That's actually how I got into filmmaking, because I wanted to create visuals to go along with my poetry. And I wrote this poem when I was like 15 years old. It was called The Diary of a Misfit.
Okay.
And so I pretty much took that idea and turned it into a film company, because I feel like a lot of people are outcast in society, the quote-unquote misfits. We can kind of educate the people. So Misfitted Academics, where we're educating the public with our viewpoints, our perspectives.
Very cool. Yeah. If not for this film festival, how hard would it be for you to get exposure for your movie?
It's hard. It's extremely hard.
It's still hard even with the festival.
Yeah, it's even hard with the festival. But I mean, it's because of festivals like this that we can actually, we actually feel motivated to promote the films. You know, it's kind of hard because sometimes it feels like you're preaching to the choir, like you're only sending it to family and friends. But with this platform, you can kind of expand that audience base.
Yeah. How tough is it for filmmakers in Detroit to get that kind of exposure? Is it different here than other places? Is it harder here?
No. As Zachary mentioned, it's tough all the way around. It's something that you constantly, when it's, especially you're filming your baby, that you're constantly looking for new audiences to put your films in front of. And so hopefully we, like I said, provide that platform where we're bringing communities together to see work from artists they may not have seen before in the past.
We've only got about a minute left, and this may be too complicated a question to ask for that minute, but I'm very curious about the difference you see between the way Detroit is depicted in films that are made here and the way that we are depicted in other film. And we do get depicted in film. Every once in a while, think about the movie that's out now, Detroit. Can you talk just a little bit about that?
Only thing I can say, it's more to Detroit than what we see on film.
Yeah.
If we took the time and really, kind of like a project we're into right now, is showcasing Detroit in a organic manner, which means just
here's what it is.
Here's what it really is. Yeah. Here's what it really is. It's more to it than what you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's our focus, is to show you that Detroit is bigger and better and stronger than the visuals you may see.
Oh, I love that. I love that message. So, all right. Congratulations on the festival, and thanks very much for being here.
Thank you for having
us.
us.
And the dates for the festival.
August 25th through the 27th.
Yes, at the
Bowl.
At the Bowl. Yeah.
At the Bowl YMCA,
Yeah.
And also we have a partnership with the Car Gallery.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
All right.
All right, finally today, the American dream means different things to different people. In our continuing look at the pursuit of opportunity and success, we hear from former mayor and NBA legend, Dave Bing.
You know, I think there was a vision for the American dream back in the 40s and 50s, my youth days. And it was to, graduate from high school, potentially go to college, and then get a job in the government. That's what DC was all about. And either you would become a teacher or you'd get a job in one of the government facilities. And you'd have a good middle class life. All those material things are kind of out the window. I don't think that exists anymore at all. No. It surely doesn't exist in the inner city here in Detroit or any other major urban center. People are fighting for their existence. Well, I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. It's 100% African American. It was a poor area, but people got along very well. The thing that kept me out of trouble was sports. My parents would not have been able to afford to send me to college. But because of my athletic ability, I had scholarships, and I chose to go to Syracuse University. But I didn't see many people who looked like me. There were 14,000 students, 100 black students, 80 were males. Most of us were on athletic scholarships. That was a rude awakening for me. The competition that I had at Syracuse and playing on that team allowed me to compete against guys from all walks of life. And I was able to be successful as a player, and it probably, without a doubt, prepared me to go into the next phase of my career, which was the NBA. When I got to Detroit, not being wanted here was a driver for me, no doubt about it. I wanted to prove to people that they had made the right choice. And it was not just on the basketball court. It was about being a part of the community, the total community. And I've always, even as a 22-year-old coming out of college, got involved in the community that I was a part of. And I think a lot of that led to people accepting me and appreciating me as a player, than more so as a person. A successful 12 years in the league, 29 years in business, was successful, was financially secure. It was time to really put your feet up, kick back, and enjoy life. But our city was going through a lot of turmoil at that point. The toughest job that I had was my 4.5 years in the mayor's office, because it really doesn't matter what you do, what decision that you make, 40 to maybe 50% of the people are going to be against your decision. That's just the way politics is. That decision had been made to file for Chapter 9. We were bloated, we were broke. You name it, any negative adjective that you can put to the city at that point in time was there. And now that I'm out of politics, and now that I've seen the need for boys of color to be mentored appropriately by men of color, I decided that that's something that I wanted to do.
The American dream. It's a dream shared in big cities and small towns, across races, regions, and religions.
Now, I don't think everybody has the same opportunity. Everybody would like to think that all of us should have the same kind of opportunities. That's not our reality. Some people are born with better opportunities than others. Some people are more prepared than others for opportunity. I just don't think everybody, I've heard kids say, it's not fair, and I agree with that. But that's the world that we live in. I mean, if you're going to make changes, you have to be the change agent.
What dreams do you chase? Share your dream at redreamproject.org.
That's our program for today. Thanks for joining us. For more information about today's guest, you can visit AmericanBlackJournal.org. And as always, you can connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time.